We often look to the stars and wonder if we are alone, staring into the infinite blackness of the cosmos while forgetting that a different kind of alien world exists right beneath our feet. It is a place of crushing pressure, eternal darkness, and secrets that defy the laws of biology as we understand them. We call it the deep frontier, and while we associate the National Aeronautics and Space Administration with rockets and distant galaxies, the truth is that NASA is obsessed with the bottom of our ocean. You might ask yourself, why is a space agency spending millions of dollars to dive into the abyss? What have they found down there in the silent, midnight zones of the Pacific and Atlantic that they aren't telling the general public? The answer lies in a chilling realization. To understand the heavens, NASA must first master the hellish depths of Earth. The narrative that we know more about the surface of the moon than we do about our own ocean floor isn't just a catchy trivia fact, it is a haunting reality. We have high-resolution maps of Mars, yet more than 80% of our ocean remains unmapped, unobserved, and explored. This vast liquid wilderness is the perfect laboratory for NASA. They aren't just looking for shipwrecks or new species of fish, they are looking for the blueprint of life itself. When we look at the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, Europa and Enceladus, we see worlds covered in thick shells of ice with massive, hidden oceans underneath. NASA knows that if they want to find life on those moons, they have to practice here first. The deep ocean is the closest thing we have to an alien planet. The pressure at the bottom of the Mariana Trench is over 8 tons per square inch. That is equivalent to having an elephant stand on your thumb. For decades, NASA has been developing submersible technology that mimics the structural integrity needed for deep space probes. But it's the discoveries they've made during these tests that raise eyebrows. In the deepest parts of the ocean, where the sun's rays can never reach, life shouldn't exist by our standard definitions. There is no photosynthesis, there is no light. And yet, around hydrothermal vents, teeming chimneys of mineral-rich water heated by the Earth's core, life is thriving. NASA scientists have observed organisms that survive on chemosynthesis, deriving energy from chemicals rather than sunlight. This shifted the entire paradigm of astrobiology. It told NASA that life doesn't need a sun, it just needs heat and water. There is a classified element to this exploration that often gets overlooked. The deep sea is a graveyard of Cold War secrets and lost technology. NASA works closely with the NOAA and the Navy, and together they have mapped anomalies on the seafloor that don't fit the geological record. Massive underwater structures, vast networks of caves that stretch for miles beneath the crust, and magnetic signatures that defy explanation. Some whistleblowers and researchers suggest that NASA has identified biological hotspots in the deep that are so advanced they resemble an entirely different evolutionary chain. Are these the aliens we've been looking for in the stars, living right here in the pressure cooker environment of the Hadal Zone? The agency's interest in the deep blue also involves the concept of ocean worlds. When NASA sends a rover to Mars, they are looking for ancient water. But when they look at Earth's deep trenches, they are looking at active, living water. They have deployed experimental AI-driven drones, like the Orpheus sub, designed to navigate the darkest corners of the ocean autonomously. These drones use the same vision systems intended for the Europa Clipper mission. NASA knows something about the resilience of life in these extreme environments that suggests life in the universe is much more common and much more terrifying than we ever imagined. They have seen creatures that can withstand radiation, extreme heat, and total darkness. If these extremophiles can thrive in the crushing depths of the Atlantic, why couldn't they be swimming in the dark oceans of Ganymede? Consider the bloop and other unidentified low-frequency sounds recorded by deep-sea sensors. While many are dismissed as ice quakes or tectonic shifts, NASA's acoustic experts have analyzed data that suggests biological origins for sounds that are far too loud to be produced by any known animal. There is a scale of life in the deep ocean that we haven't even cataloged. We are talking about organisms the size of city blocks, moving slowly in the currents where the pressure keeps their massive forms from collapsing. NASA's satellite altimetry can detect minute changes in the sea surface height, which allows them to see the mountains and valleys of the ocean floor from space. They have identified massive depressions and rises that don't match our volcanic models. What is moving down there? What is shifting the very foundation of our planet's crust? Furthermore, the connection between the deep sea and the origin of the human species is a focal point for NASA's genomic research. By sequencing the DNA of microbes found in the deepest trenches, they are finding ancient genes that shouldn't be there, remnants of a time when the Earth was a molten, chaotic mess. NASA knows that the deep ocean acts as a time capsule. It holds the secrets of how life survived the Great Oxidation Event and various mass extinctions. If we are to become a multiplanetary species, we need the hardy genetics found in the abyss. They are studying how these organisms repair their DNA under stress, a trick that would be invaluable for astronauts exposed to cosmic radiation during a trip to Mars. There is also the matter of the abyssal plane anomalies. High-resolution sonar has occasionally picked up geometric shapes, perfectly right-angled ridges, and circular depressions that look suspiciously like artificial constructs. While geologists argue these are natural basalt formations, NASA's involvement in investigating these sites suggests a deeper curiosity. Are these remnants of a pre-deluge civilization, or perhaps something even older? The silence from the agency on these specific coordinates is deafening. They have the capability to see through the water column with synthetic aperture radar and advanced LiDAR, yet the maps released to the public remain blurry and incomplete. Why the secrecy? Is it to prevent a gold rush for deep-sea minerals, or is it because they found something that challenges our understanding of human history? NASA's Project Subsea, Systematic Biotic Emergence and Evolutionary Anatomy, is specifically designed to bridge the gap between oceanography and space exploration. They have focused heavily on the Gorda Ridge, an underwater volcanic chain off the coast of Oregon. The data coming out of these missions is often filtered through the lens of preparing for Enceladus, but the sheer volume of biological data they are collecting suggests they are finding a complexity of life that surpasses anything in the shallow reefs. They are finding biological computers, mats of bacteria that communicate through electrical impulses, essentially turning the ocean floor into a giant living neural network. If the ocean itself is thinking, NASA is the only organization with the tools to decode that language. We must also talk about the blue holes. These vertical caves are scattered across the ocean, some plunging hundreds of feet into the darkness. NASA has used these as testing grounds for their diver robots. They found that these holes often contain dead zones with no oxygen, yet they are filled with sulfur-breathing organisms. This discovery expanded NASA's definition of the habitable zone. It turns out a planet doesn't need to be in the Goldilocks distance from its star to host life. It just needs internal geological activity. This realization shifted NASA's entire strategy for the next 50 years. They are no longer just looking at planets, they are looking at moons that were previously thought to be frozen, dead rocks. What NASA knows, and what they aren't shouting from the rooftops, is that the Earth is not a closed system. The deep ocean is interacting with the upper atmosphere and even the magnetosphere in ways we are just beginning to comprehend. There are internal waves beneath the surface that move more water than all the world's rivers combined, transferring heat and energy in a global engine that regulates our climate. NASA's satellites track these ripples, and the data suggests that the engine is changing. There are cold spots and heat spikes in the deep that don't align with global warming models. It's as if something is being vented from deep within the Earth's mantle. The psychological aspect of the deep ocean is another area where NASA holds the keys. To train astronauts for the isolation of space, they use the NEMA, NASA Extreme Environment Mission Operations Underwater Habitat. They have found that the high-pressure environment of the deep sea affects human cognition and biology in ways that mimic long-term spaceflight. They've observed genetic expression changes in aquanauts, genes turning on and off as the body tries to adapt to the crushing weight of the water. This data is vital for the future of human colonization, but it also hints at a deeper truth. Humans are more plastic and adaptable than we thought. We have the latent ability to survive in environments we were never meant to inhabit. As we look toward the 2030s and 2040s, NASA's Ocean Worlds program will become the centerpiece of their mission. But the foundation of that mission is being laid right now, miles below the surface of the Pacific. They are discovering that the abyss is not a void. It is a crowded, noisy, and ancient neighborhood. They have found viral dark matter, viruses in the deep sea that don't match any known biological database. These viruses are the master architects of the deep sea ecosystem, killing off certain bacteria to keep the cycle of life moving. NASA is studying these as a potential biological threat or biological boon for future space travel. The mystery of the deep is the mystery of ourselves. NASA knows that we are a species of the water, and our ultimate destiny, whether it's on a moon of Jupiter or in a colony beneath the waves, is tied to our ability to survive in the dark. The UAP, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, reports often mention objects entering and exiting the ocean at high speeds. These transmedium craft are of intense interest to the agency. If there is a highly advanced technology operating in our oceans, NASA's deep-sea sensors are the ones picking it up. The overlap between inner space and outer space is becoming a single unified field of study. In the end, what NASA knows is that the ocean is not just a body of water, it is a giant planetary organ. It breathes, it pulses, and it remembers. They have found evidence of massive extinction pulses recorded in the sediment of the deep, and they are using that to predict the future of our own atmosphere. They have found that the deep sea is the sink for the world's carbon, but that sink is reaching its capacity. The secrets they are keeping might not be about aliens in the traditional sense, but about the terrifying fragility of our own existence. They know that the clock is ticking, and the answers to our survival are buried under 7 miles of salt water. The next time you look at a photo of a distant galaxy, remember that NASA is also looking down. They are looking into the trenches where the light dies, because they know that's where the story began. They have seen the bioluminescent displays of creatures that look like they were pulled from a fever dream. They have mapped the silent mountains that make Everest look like a foothill. And they have felt the pulse of a living world that remains, for the most part, a total mystery to the people who live on its surface. The abyss is calling, and NASA is the only one equipped to answer. They aren't just exploring the ocean, they are decoding the very soul of the Earth, and what they found suggests that we are just guests on a planet that belongs to the deep. The data remains classified, the high-res maps stay behind closed doors, and the Orpheus drones continue to descend into the black. We are told we are looking for life on Mars, but perhaps the most profound first contact has already happened, miles beneath the waves, in the silence of the Hadal Zone. NASA knows that the ocean is the true final frontier, and until we understand what is lurking in the trenches, we will never truly understand our place in the cosmos. The stars are beautiful, but the deep is where the truth resides. And the truth is far more complex and far more alien than we were ever led to believe.